Okay, so if I was to start and launch my own therapy-based business today in 2024, knowing what I know now after the last 15 years of education, working with hundreds, maybe thousands of clients from all over the world, developing over 9 education courses, writing multiple books, speaking at various events and festivals and summits all over the world, um, developing programs, marketing, a YouTube channel with over 15,000 subscribers now, and all the other skills, all the other things that I've learned over the years. If I still had that knowledge, if I had the knowledge now, and I was wanting to start my own business, whether I've, you know, maybe your situation is this, is maybe you've been working in a job and now you want to transition into something in the natural medicine industry or the health industry, and you're looking at how feasible that is, how to pull it off. So this is perfect for you. Or if you're recent, maybe you're a recent graduate or you're going through a particular training course now and you're sort of realizing, oh, I'm going to have to go out and start running my own business. How do I do it? How do I do marketing? All that sort of stuff. Because 99% of natural medicine courses, health practitioner courses, particularly universities, they don't teach anything about business, anything about marketing, anything about sales, anything about that. So what usually happens is, like myself, as a health practitioner, you graduate and very highly educated in many different things, treating disease, but absolutely clueless in everything else, right? So I fumbled my way through it. When I left college, I was like, oh, what do I do now? So this is back in 2009, got a website up, Conky website. I found a clinic to rent. And then I even started doing letterbox drops because I was like, how do I do marketing, right? How do I attract clients? And so that's what I started with, right? And then over the years, I got better and better and better. But it took me a very long time to get things going to a point where now I can pick and choose my clients. I can choose what projects to work on. I can raise my prices, which I'm doing at the moment. Building and launching programs, and developing a following on places like YouTube. So this video, I'm going to go through 5 steps that I would do if you're in that space. Number 1, so you need to practice case studies. You need to practice your skill set, what you've just learned, a lot. And I would say you need 100 experiences, repetitions. So one of the main benefits of going through a health college or a university or whatever you may be going through or have gone through is that they have already got a network of people and other students that you can access to practice your skill set. So when I was studying acupuncture 2 semesters, so it was an entire year, was just called student clinic. And they had a system set up where random people of the public would come in. I think they would pay like $20 or something for it. And we would go through, allocate students. And then at the end of every day, we would sit down with our supervisor, our teacher, and we would talk about the case studies to get reflection, to work out better, get better diagnosis, stuff like that. So that's one of the best things about going through a college or a university is the potential to do lots of case studies, clinical hours. So that's what you really need to do. And there's multiple ways you can do it. You can use the college resources that you're going through. There's always the other students in your group that you can access and ask to swap, right? Just get as many as you can under your belt. You can offer free sessions to your community around the place, friends and family, obviously. Another one that I did back in the day was festivals. So music festivals, usually music festivals have like a healing tent, some kind of healing space, and you can volunteer in that space. And you get access to the public and you can practice your skills. Maybe there's like expos and all sorts of things. But basically what you want to do is you want to get 100 experiences under your belt before doing too much else. You need to get experience, because what that's going to do is going to give you confidence, and it's also going to get rid of this imposter syndrome. I heard someone say recently that imposter syndrome is a sign that you haven't practiced enough. If you've practiced, when you walk in the meeting or when you walk in the door, you're not nervous. You just deal with what comes, right? So you need to get 100 case studies as quickly as possible. Find time, if you take a break from work for a month, and just load it up with as many experiences as you can. If you're working, then fill up your weekends or nights. Just get them done. And if you don't have an immediate supervisor with you, I'd recommend you at least audio record the sessions. You can film them if you wanted to. Of course, you have to ask for permission, get them to sign off on it. And then you can reflect on it, but then the supervisor, so you'll be linked to some kind of supervisor through your college, you can send them the case studies, probably not the entire 1 hour of, maybe, send them the whole recording, so that they've got to spend an hour and a half listening to do the whole thing and then get back to you. More like you listen to it yourself, you make notes, this is the trouble area, this is what I got confused about. Then you can ask your supervisor, hey, I got this client, this is what kind of happened, I'm not sure how to deal with it, how would you deal with it? Boom. That's the feedback you want, right? So use that as much as you can. Get 100 case studies at least to get into it before thinking about too much else. The second step that you want to be thinking about when you're doing these case studies is defining the solution that you solve. So if you think about all health practitioners, chiropractors, if you go to an acupuncturist, if you go to a psychologist, if you go to, this healer, that therapist, you're looking for a specific solution to a specific problem. You're not simply going there to feel better, right? You're going there to solve something. Go to my neck feels stuffed, go to chiropractor, he's going to help my neck. Boom. It's very specific. I go to the kinesiologist because I want to feel better about this situation, right? Or I want to find out what food I'm allergic to, right? Boom, specifics. I go to the acupuncturist because I've got depression. I go to the EFT guy because I've got problems with this issue and this issue and this issue. So what you want to be really doing is starting to narrow down, find one solution that you focus on, because that's your marketing, and that'll cut you through the noise. And people don't really care what you've studied. They don't care if people put, and I've done all these things, so that's why I'm speaking from experience, like put under my name, massage therapist, acupuncturist, EFT practitioner, counseling, Reiki, kinesiology, You put all these things under your name and it sounds amazing to you. And to them, they're like, wow. But most people go, what is that? Right? You just confuse them. Oh, okay. So they've studied. Is it really legit? What is that? So now you're kind of confusing them, and you have to maybe educate. Now the first call is what is acupuncture? How does it work? Blah, 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 blah. Right? So you waste a lot of time trying to explain and trying to convince them that it works. So get rid of that and instead focus on neck pain release specialist. I saw a clinic one day, it was called back pain specialist. I think it was a spine specialist. I was like, oh, that's really good. So I know now it really sticks in there instead of chiropractor, medical doctor, kinesiologist, massage therapist. It's confusing. Oh, back pain. Oh, interesting. So it stuck with me, and that was 15 years ago. And then the next thing people are going to do is kind of look you up, right? They're going to look to see that you know what you're talking about. Okay, he's a back pain specialist. What's that mean? Or let me see if he knows what he's talking about. So some ideas about single solutions: neck pain, back pain, diabetes, depression, social anxieties, performance anxiety, couples issues, sex issues, teen depression. There's lots in there. Children, it's a specialized area. So There's a smorgasbord. There's a huge smorgasbord, and there's always demand. The health and wellness industry is in demand. If you're not getting clients interested in your work, or it's not that there's not people looking for it. There's health and wellness and depression is the biggest issue in the world. Mental health is the biggest problem in the world. So there's a huge demand, but the messaging and the way you're trying to communicate to the public is not working. So just look up the smorgasbord. So if you look on Google, 20 top diseases in the world. There you go. Heart disease, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, right? So many. If you want more mental health, what are the top 20 issues in mental health? Depression, anxiety, ADHD, so many. And you can even narrow it down further. What type of anxiety, social anxiety, performance anxiety, you've got all these different areas. So there's a smorgasbord of solutions that you can offer. And I recommend you focus in on one particular one, and you'll get more idea after doing your case studies and also your experience, like for example, when I was studying, I was really interested more in depression because I have experience with it. My friends around me, a lot of people were suffering from depression. Chinese medicine had a good understanding of depression. So I was like, oh yeah, I want to work with depression. But after I worked with a bunch of clients, after I went into it, I realized that these clients are very difficult to work with. They show up late, they don't listen. A lot of them are sort of in self-pity or self-misery. So it's really hard to get them going. And even though I want to help these people, I realized if I was dealing with these people every day in my career for the next 10 years, I would become depressed, right? I would hate it. It's very difficult. So I decided early on that I would rather write a book about it or, maybe share videos on it. But as far as working with specifically depressed people all day long, it's not my ideal client. So you want to find what type of people you like working with. What problems do they have? And can I help them? Am I good at helping that problem? Right? So really you really get, and of course you can change it in time, like I did with the depression thing. If you do it for a while, it doesn't work out, you can shift it, you'll find something else. But you really need those 100 case studies to get a better idea of it. So focus on one issue and put under your name, instead of all these things that you've studied, say Rebecca Thompson, healing diabetes fast, or healing diabetes naturally, or overcoming public speaking fear so that you feel better fast, something like that. So your catchphrase under your name is your solution, the thing you specialize in. The qualifications come later as people check you out. But for now, focus on the problem, which then leads me to number 3. So once you've got a better idea of what is the solution, then you can start producing content, whether that be articles, but videos like YouTube and stuff like that, where you're demonstrating your expertise in that field. You're showing people that you are doing it. So if you're a neck pain specialist, you show videos of you actually doing the treatment. You make other videos, maybe about the theory of why you do it this way and how it works and all that sort of stuff. But you've got lots of content just displaying one expertise. If you're a nutritionist, maybe specializing in, nutrition, whatever that may be, you're demonstrating the food, maybe you're cooking, right? So you show the meals that you make and you show it looks all pretty and stuff like that. If you're a fitness expert, obviously you're showing your fit body and physique and some of the exercise you're doing. You're displaying that you are competent and that you're displaying that you know what you're talking about. So if you're more of a counselor or a psychologist, in some cases, I'd recommend getting permission, of course, but you actually film it and you upload it and you demonstrate, you show people how you help this person by showing them you help this person, right? So step 4 is you want to get clear about designing your approach or your package that gets the solution. So for example, if you go to a guitar teacher, you want to learn the guitar, right? So you look up online, there's a bunch of different guitar teachers in your area, but you'll notice that they all have a different slightly style or slightly different approach, right? And you will start to resonate with a particular style or a particular approach. And that's the one you'll probably choose. So it's not like every guitarist teacher is teaching exactly the same theory or the same process, because that'd just be robots, right? And so you don't want to be copying or trying to be a robot. What you want to do is you want to get good at what you're doing and really investigate. Okay, let's say if I have 6 sessions with a person as a guideline, if I've got 6 one-hour sessions with this person to get their neck from stiff and busted to feeling really good, the solution, what would I do in those 6 sessions step by step in an efficient way and the best possible way so they get the result after 6 sessions, right? So if it's to do with performance anxiety or public speaking anxiety, I've got 6 sessions with this person. How can I get them from totally scared to public speaking to feeling like a pro, ready to go, right? You can't do all that in one session. That's why you have to get rid of this idea of single sessions. Get rid of it, because it not only sucks for the practitioner because you're trying to do everything in one session and it just doesn't work. It's not enough time, it's not enough work. But it actually harms the client in the end, and it kind of harms the industry as well, because people always go, they go acupuncture, they get 1 or 2 sessions and they say it doesn't work, or I tried this and it doesn't work, or they get a bit of relief and then they stop. The reason it doesn't really work is because the practitioner did not have a system set up that was thorough and took them through a whole step-by-step process, right? If I go to the guitar teacher to learn how to play the guitar and I go for 1 or 2 sessions and then I'm like, oh, I tried to learn guitar once and it doesn't work. I can only now hold the guitar and strum it. Yeah, because you only did 1 lesson, of course, you see? So you have to sit down and plot out at least 6 sessions of the guideline of how can you get this solution for this type of person in this framework. And that is what you're selling as a package. And that costs more money because it's specialized and it's a big block of time and commitment, right? And so that is what you're going to sell, and that's where the money is likely at, because in one sale you can make at least $1,000 from one sale. That's what you want to be doing. And like, think about it, if people's neck is really, really sore, or like, the neck is so sore that they can't work, right? They've got headaches, they're dysfunctional at work, their relationships are falling apart. Like, they really need a solution to this neck pain so they can go back to work, they can improve their relationships and stuff like that. So they're willing, if you can do it in 6 sessions, if you can get them there, they will pay. They will pay whatever's necessary so they can get back or get back. So it's easy to sell a solution if you've got a good solution. And you're selling solutions, not sessions. So you're selling the solution, not the skill or the session or the hour. You're not selling that, you're selling them a solution. So focus on solutions, and it's much easier. Which then brings it to step 5, which is the final one. You really need to learn and study sales conversations in particular. And how does it work? So when you're displaying your expertise, like in videos and stuff like that, is that you, at the end of the video, at the beginning of the video, you will have a link, and you can even say it, oh, if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want more information, if you want more support, then click the link and set up a call. And you have an online automated scheduling system, which they click, it does it all automated, and then you get on the call and you talk to them and you find out what their issue is and if you can help them, right? So sales these days is about listening and being really good at understanding your clients. The old sales system from like the 1980s and stuff was more about excitement and rah, 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 and sort of talking at the client. These days, sales is about listening to the client. If the client feels listened to, if you feel like that you actually really care about them and you really want to help them and you have a system or a solution for them, it's easy to sell. And because you've already displayed your expertise on YouTube, you've already displayed your messaging that you're an expert. Check this out. I'm displaying I'm good at this. Look at this. By the time you get them on a call, they're already pretty much sold. They're like 80% sold, because they wouldn't have got on a call unless they were sold already, right? So you've only got about 20% work to get the sale on the call. But if you don't do any of the displaying, like on your videos, if you don't display your expertise, then if you get on a call with someone, now you have to convince them that you know what you're talking about. It's a lot of work. So you don't want that. You want them to be sort of pre-sold, is kind of a good word. There's a great book called Pre-Influence. Yeah, Influence. And check that out. So these ideas is that you're building trust before you actually deal with people. They already know who you are. They've already got a bit of a vibe from you. So by the time you get on a call and they want to work with you, it's easy, right? So that's the 5 steps. And you have to, with your sales, you do have to learn, like every conversation you have with someone, you could record it or study what went wrong. How could you improve it? You've got to improve your questioning skills, your listening skills, things like that. Just like you did with your case studies, you've got to learn and adjust. And if you did all these things, if you really want to do it, this is what you would do. And you could get up and running within 3 to 6 months. Like have people have sales coming in through the door, but you've got to grunt work. You've got to put in the grunt at the beginning. You've got to put in the hours because you got to get established. You got to get the hours in, right? It'll set you up. And know this, 95% of people, particularly maybe those ones that graduate, will never do the grunt work. They sort of maybe they'll put their website up and post something on Facebook and then wait for the calls to come. It doesn't work like that anymore. It probably never did work like that. So these are the steps. You've got to put in the effort at the beginning to set yourself up. Then you'll start to come out from the crowd quite easily. And if you do it this way and you get really good at your system and really good at your package and you improve it every time, you deliver a good experience, you get the result is that they will start referring people to you. Your name will get out. The videos that you show where you're an expert and you're specialized. If I might not have neck pain, but my friend might, and I might go, hey, check out this guy or gal on the internet. She knows what she's talking about. Check it out. See, your displaying is going to get you the build up. It'll keep building like this. And it doesn't have to be fancy videos. It doesn't have to be dancing and all that nonsense. It's better to display expertise. That is the most important thing. You have to show what you're doing, like a viral video of you dancing with bananas popping around your head. You might get 1 million views, but as far as sales for neck pain, it's a joke. It's a waste of time. So forget about getting 1 million views on it. You want to just display expertise in your videos to get quality leads and quality conversations happening, and always be learning. So study the videos or study the content you produce. I like the idea of 1% improvements every time. So that's what I've been trying to do. Like I make this video, at the beginning, your video is going to suck, your work's going to suck, and that's fine. That's the grunt work. You have to put it in. It's going to suck, but do it anyway, right? And then the next time you'll be 1% better. The next conversation, you'll be 1% better. The next conversation, you'll be 1% better. So you'll get better and better and better like that. But that's through repetition. Like I said, you've got to put in the work. So these skills is still going to be, you can't avoid them. And particularly if you want to work for your own, if you want to work, have the benefits of working on your own hours, changing your pricing, changing your branding, changing your marketing, work the way that you want to work without these limitations and protocols that primary healthcare might put on you. You can work outside the box. You can do different things. You can do cool things. You have to go into private practice to do these things, right? So that's my spiel. Hopefully it's helpful. Let me know in the comments below if that was helpful. And I wish you the best and good luck with your journey. Thank you.